It's another episode of not Down in the Blocks. That's Chris Young's podcast. This is all Rell and Good with my good friend, the former two-time Big Ten champion, Richard Rellford. We haven't talked in a while, Rich. A lot has happened. We talked 4 weeks ago when Dusty May was hired. I think we did a podcast, and then Dusty was there with all the great things to say down at the press conference, but there were no players. There were maybe a couple, maybe Will Cheddar thought he might be playing, but now all of a sudden there's 12 scholarship kids, and we're going to talk about that. But just generally speaking, and I said this to you before the podcast, we have no freaking idea how this is going to work. I mean, when you think about it, they all got great metrics. They all come from various programs, but man, merging everything together, how the hell do you know if it's going to work? But generally speaking, what's your reaction to what's happened these last 4 weeks?
I'm loving Dusty. I think Dusty is a awesome guy, awesome coach, and from what I'm hearing, a great recruiter. I think what he had to do is rebuild the team. Anytime you're a new coach, you're coming in and rebuilding the team. So this is not new to him because he did it down at Florida Atlantic University. You had to rebuild the team. He got some new guys in, but like you said, is it going to work? Well, we're going to find out when the season starts.
We're going to find out. We got four new teams in the Big Ten. It's going to be crazy. Yes. 20 games, and you only have 3 teams that you play home and home with, and Michigan's going to be going to Los Angeles to play USC and UCLA. I hope both bundles those that. Remember how you used to do those weekend things? Remember when you were playing, you'd have a Thursday game and a Saturday game. I think that's right. Wisely, they would go back to that. But when you think about the 2 guys coming back so far, Namari Burnett and Will Cheddar, I think this is going to be a good fit for them. And then all these new players, and quite frankly, to me, they're kind of just names. I mean, Trey Donaldson out of Auburn, a guard who did well. Roddy Gale, I remember Roddy Gale. You saw him play.
Yeah, I know Roddy.
And that guy's he's a flat out scorer that they haven't had. I mean, Reuben Jones is from North Texas. I have no idea about Reuben Jones. He sounds good. Sam Walters, I saw him in the Final Four for Alabama. Vlad Golden is the big 7-footer from FAU. Remember him from the Final Four, and he's a rim protector that hasn't happened. Michigan hasn't had in a couple of years. And then Danny Wolf, another big dude, play a 4. Boy, with Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf in there, you got some high rock, you got some tall timber in there to defend. I don't know if that many minutes, but when you look at that kind of ingredients, all those, I mean, how do you blend that together? You just, what kind of style do you think that's going to be? He's kind of a motion guy, share the ball kind of guy, like Beeline, right?
Right. I think, for us, it may sound like a hard thing to do to get these guys together, but as an experienced coach like Dusty is, you bring in guys that you're familiar with, which you brought in a guy from FAU. Well, we needed a big guy. That was my biggest thing with Coach when he's bringing guys in. I needed a 7-footer because I played with a 7-footer, 2 of them at Michigan.
You did,
and you won, and we won games. What you need is a rim protector. Now, I thought the guys last year, Reed Jr. was a good, solid inside player, but he wasn't a rim protector.
No, he was not even close to that.
Right. And the kids you got now that we got coming in, he's a rim protector. Yeah. Barnett, I'm okay with that because he's a small forward and he's a scorer, but he's a 2 guard, he's a scorer. And then one of my favorites, Cheddar. I'm glad that Cheddar stayed because every team needs a Cheddar because he's gonna come out there and he's gonna do whatever it takes to help his team win. That's what I love about the makeup of this new team.
Yeah, and they didn't have a score. I think it's funny. Namari Burnett, I watched him and he looked frustrated at times. But you know what? You can get a different coach, a different system. You got different assistants. sometimes that shakes it up, and all of a sudden, all things are good, right?
That's exactly what they needed. They
Yeah.
needed a shake up because you go from winning 3 games in the Big Ten, 8 overall.
Yeah, Jesus, that's
You need a
bad.
shake up. When I had friends calling me, telling me that, oh, you got these guys transferring, this guy transferring, everybody needed to transfer
Yeah.
because you had no team. Your team was depleted because if you had brought those guys back, the same thing would have happened. That indecisiveness would have creeped
Yeah.
into their minds of
Yeah.
what happened the year before. No, I've had several people ask me about how do I feel about the shakeup of the team. I love it. I really do, Tom. I think things are new, and you're
Yeah.
gonna have players coming there fighting for jobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's depth, and there's still one more slot. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they only had 11 scholarship kids last year. So far, they got 12 right now. But Joe Lenardi, from the bracketology,
Yeah, yep. I know,
so he
Joe.
comes out yesterday, and I don't know. This is crazy. How do you project who's going to be in the? He's on not too early. Projection who's in, who's not in the NCAA tournament in 2025. He's got Michigan a 7 seed in the tournament, and
He
would you
does.
be happy I mean, would you? Let me phrase it this way: would you be disappointed if they didn't make the tournament? I mean, would you be surprised / disappointed? Wouldn't you? I mean, I expect them to be in the tournament myself. I always
I would
do.
be. I would be surprised, and I would be disappointed because I would want them to be in the tournament because as
Yeah,
players, everyone wants to be in the tournament.
yeah,
You can say what you want about the NIT and all that other stuff, but nothing's like the NCAA's.
yeah.
That's the
And it's been
ultimate
2
goal.
years removed. I mean, there's been 2 years.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's very un-Michigan-esque. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I don't. That's my expectation. I think it's going to happen. Joe Lenardi has actually 12 of the 18 teams.
So tell me, Tom, what
in
happened with Chase
the NCAA.
Howard?
What's that? You know
What's up with
what?
Chase Howard?
That's a great question. I have no idea. We haven't heard. When you think about Jace, you think, God, that would be awkward. Your dad, you're on the team. Your dad was let go, and you stay. I mean, I respect him either way. I mean, I like that kid, quite frankly. If he goes or if he stays, either I got respect for him either way. But man, if he stays, that's super admiration coming. If he has the opportunity to stay and wants to stay there at Michigan, I think that would be awesome.
But it'll be awesome for the stay and to get the degree from Michigan. But it's
Yeah,
going to be an awkward situation
yeah, it
because
is. Oh,
your dad will want to come back
yeah,
and watch you play when
yeah,
you didn't really play that much with him. So
yeah,
I can imagine what's going to go now with coach, with the
yeah,
new coach.
yeah.
I get to want to stay and get my degree from Michigan. I get that part, but it's going to be a difficult situation, man. Especially if they're winning. If
Yeah.
they're winning, then that's
Oh
going
yeah.
to throw another
Oh,
wrinkle into it.
oh my God!
You
Because
understand?
all he's going to hear is, "See, I told you, we just get rid of Juwan, everything's all
Yes,
good."
yes,
Right?
Tom. Yes, yes.
I'd like to have your dad. I'd like to have that said about your dad. I mean, that would
Listen,
be hard.
it's hard because you have more than a coach-player relationship with the
Yeah,
last coach. It was your
yeah,
father.
yeah.
And I would think, to be honest with you, my honest opinion, I wouldn't go back. Not to
No,
play.
I wouldn't. I
To
mean,
go to
I would.
school,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
but not to play because
yeah.
it's too tough.
Who knows? He might be really close to I'm sure he'll get his degree from the University of Michigan, like his dad did.
Right.
And that's special, as you and I agree with that. Okay, I want you to go back and I was just thinking about this the other day. About you, Rich. With all this NIL money, and I was on a podcast yesterday, and we are talking about all this NIL money, all these collectibles, all these organizations that funnel money into basically sponsoring players and these deals, and I'm just trying to figure out what the market value would be for Richard Rellford coming out of Riviera Beach, Florida, as a McDonald's All-American, as a freshman, or even more so, when you started all 4 years, but you became a pretty much nationwide household name when you got your junior, senior year when Michigan
Right.
was, in the ranked #1 in the country and things like that. I mean, do you think about what that would have been like? Tell me you haven't.
Listen, Tom. I've had my friends. My son has asked me, Justin, a few times if I was coming out of school now and I was a McDonald's All-American and I was a parade All-American in football. They said that the highest paid NIL person was Shador Sanders at 4.7 million. That's what he gets. Well, I would have won about $4 million because I'm a two-sport guy. Because if you're paying him that much for one sport, one. Well, I would think a two-sport star would get just as much, if not more.
So when Bo Schembechler, I just had that on the scroll when he wanted you to come out and play football because you were an outstanding football player, tight end at Suncoast High School in Riviera Beach. So you would have tried both sports.
No.
Oh, you would not have. You would have just
not in college. I would have did them in high school, coming out of high school.
No. Do you? In other words, with all this money, what if they say, "Hey, Rich, you play both sports. Think of the NIL money you could get."
I might would have played two. I might have played two sports for sure.
Yeah.
If they had told me something like $4 or $5 million, because my dream was to get to the NBA and make money. Okay, well, I did that. But if you told me that if I played both sports and you would pay me this much money, I would play tight end football in a heartbeat. I would play football in a heartbeat.
You can be bought, man.
Yeah, for sure. Listen,
show me the money, baby.
Listen, you would have definitely bought me for $5 million. A 17, 18-year-old kid who mom had passed and dad had just retired. Please, we'd have been just
I got another question for you. Okay, so you come in freshman year, you guys were 15 and 13. You didn't make, and the NIT was harder to get to back then. I mean, you made it your second year and you won the NIT.
Right.
You beat Notre Dame. Tim Kimpton, I remember all those guys. Okay. Did you have moments like, God, I don't know if I like Michigan, and if with the transfer portal out there like it is back then, like it is now, would you have had a moment like, I think I'm leaving Michigan? Did you have that? I want you to be completely honest with me, like you always are. Did you have those moments like, I don't know if I wish I didn't go to Michigan? Never had it, or did you?
Never. You know why? Because I started all 4 years. I was a 4-year starter, and I played. It'd have been different if you started me and only played me 10 minutes a game. Then I'm transferred. Easy transfer, because you brought me in to play me. And it would have been different if the guy in front of me was better, but he wasn't. And I came in. I was not only the football guy, but I was an athlete. And being an athlete, basketball was just as easy to me as football because I was an athlete. And so, no, I never had any doubt.
You're trying to tell me that there wasn't one moment like, oh, I wish I would have gone to, I don't know, St. John's like your brother. Or I mean, I'm just curious if you had a bad experience at practice or some teammate pissed you off or I don't know. I'm just curious. Or academics was like,
it's only
not going well. Whatever. What was it? Tell me.
Only 2 schools that I would have left to go to. St. John's is one.
Okay.
Because they had my friend Walter Berry and Chris Mullins. And Lou Carnesecca was the coach.
Yeah.
And the other one was LSU. Because Dale Brown came to my house and he won over everybody. Dale Brown won everybody. He brought him and his assistant coach, Abernathy. They came and sat down in my house for 2 hours talking to my father. Talked to me for like 2 minutes and talked to my dad. And all I did was sit there and listen. And I loved everything he said. And when I chose to go to Michigan, Dale Brown told me, if you ever want to transfer, I got a home for you here. And that made me feel amazing. So I never really worried about the Michigan thing.
Well,
because I knew I had.
So Dale Brown knocked it out of the park recruiting. Okay.
Yes.
So why did you choose Michigan over LSU?
Because Michigan had Anthony Carter.
Okay. Simple as that?
Simple as that. Because Anthony, when I came up, I told you before, Anthony showed me around. He was my guy who took me on my official visit.
Right.
And the way that, and they knew this. They knew that these people loved Anthony in Ann Arbor. They loved him. And everywhere I
Still
went,
do. Still do,
right,
man.
and still do, exactly. But everywhere I went with him, he would introduce me as, this is one of my homeboys from my hometown and my high school. And people would just show me so much love up in Ann Arbor. And then, I came to basketball camp
Yeah.
my junior year going into my senior year. And it was amazing, man, because I got to play with these college guys when I was a junior going
Yeah.
into my senior year. I got to play with Eric Turner and all those guys in the summertime at summer camp. And I think they knew then because I held my own as a senior in high school playing these guys. And
Yeah.
so I think they knew then that, okay, because they came at me harder after that came to camp. It was like my boy lived with me after that. So
No, but so other than Dale Brown, there had to be some intrigue about LSU. Did you go on an official visit in Baton Rouge?
never went on a visit. And I forgot to add one team, and I should have. The University of Maryland. Lefty Giselle. Lefty was the one that, in my last three schools, Maryland was one of them. Because Lefty showed me the time of my life. And then they had Albert Clean and Buck Johnson, not Buck Johnson, Buck Williams.
Yeah.
Those guys, listen, those guys called me, man, and I was blown away.
Yeah,
I was
Buck
like,
Williams. They were good, man. Maryland.
they were good.
Maryland has never been as good as they were then.
No, that's right.
Like they
That's right.
Back then.
And they also at Maryland
coaching them. Yeah.
they had Lynn Bias.
No, yeah.
Lynn was getting recruited the same year as me, and that was one of the selling things. They was like, but we don't know if you have, Lynn Bias, but Lynn has committed to come here, and that piqued my interest because when you said that, I was like, he was a beast because I saw him in AAU. I was like, whoa! And then they the bad thing happened for them was Butch Wade, because when Butch Wade called me and said, "Rich, I'm committing to Michigan," I was done.
Because you had a couple personal bonds, Anthony Carter,
yes, and Butch Wade.
Even though Anthony was leaving the school when you got
right.
there. Yeah.
And you know what else they did, Tom, at Michigan? I got to meet Butch Wolfolk, Stanley Edwards. These are guys that were stars at Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And one of my favorite was the quarterback. When I got a chance to meet the quarterback at the time at Michigan, when Anthony was a freshman. I think Wengler was
Steve Smith.
No, Wengler. Wengler was a
Johnny
senior.
Wang. When Johnny, a couple years, but yeah.
Wang was a senior, and AC was like a sophomore, junior.
The Rose Bowl team, yes.
Right, and Wengler. When I met these guys, see, I knew the quarterback. The meaning, when I meet the quarterback, I meet the captain of the team.
When Johnny Wangs played, actually, he played. He was a hell of a high school player at Royal Oak Shrine, and then he played freshman basketball at Michigan. So
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's always been supportive of Michigan basketball. So that's cool. Okay, so it makes. You don't have to convince me why you went to Michigan. I can agree with everything you say, but I'm just because you were so highly recruited. It just seems like there would have been some other temptations. You didn't. I know you went to Hawaii, and we've talked about that visit. That was a whole another element of going to Hawaii for a official visit, an OV. But was there any other schools that you visited besides Michigan?
No, I visited Maryland, Michigan, St. John's. Was there any more? University of Hawaii. I think 4 visits.
You went to Hawaii.
I didn't take all 6.
You were intrigued by their academics, right?
Yeah. Listen, Tom, I was intrigued as soon as I got off that plane and they put those layers around my neck. Listen, the only thing stopped me from going there was it was too far and nobody could see me on TV.
Okay. Did you feel a little sheepish that you went to Hawaii on their expense, knowing there's no way in hell you're going to Hawaii?
No, not at all. I had no bad feelings because I had dreamed and saw things on Hawaii. I was a big Hawaii Five-0 fan, so I saw all this stuff on television.
Steve McGarrett, man.
McGarrett. That's right, McGarrett. And so I said,
that was a great show. Yeah.
Great show. And so I wanted to go there. And when I went there, it felt like I was there for a week. And I was there for 2 days. and it felt like a week. I was late coming back from my visit because you know you're only supposed to have 48 hours.
Well, you're going halfway across the world.
Right, exactly. And
Right.
so, listen, it was a great experience, man. It really was. Recruiting for me was terrific because I can, you know, my counselors at school, in my high school, they controlled it. They didn't let all these schools just come in and bombard my house. And, you know, okay, I got a bunch of letters. But my counselor, Miss Burgess, Shirley Burgess was her name. She made sure that the schools that I was interested in, those are the only ones she would let come through. And I loved it.
Well, you had good support then at your high school.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
absolutely
Mm.
in a community that had some a wide span of socioeconomic challenges to it. Yeah.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yeah. So,
But we had great athletes come out of there.
oh man, no doubt. In the state of Florida, my God, you got right now. I mean, there's basketball dudes down there as much as football dudes. I mean,
As much as football, but I'm gonna take this second because I want people that watch this next year when they have the Hall of Fame for the NFL. I want people to go out and vote for a man by the name of Lamar Parrish. Lamar is from my hometown.
Play with the Bengals.
Played with the Bengals. Played defensive back for 11 years, 9 years All Pro.
Yeah, he's
not in the Hall of Fame.
And
he should be. No, I'm not kidding you. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
That's a name that resonates. I mean, that was
See, and you knew him as soon as I said it. You knew who he was.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, so I'm pushing for my guy, man. First professional football player from my hometown, Lamar Parrish.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, man. We got a lot of athletes. Otis Anderson is another one that took me under his wing, watched out for me, looked out for me. O should be in the Hall of Fame because he was the MVP of the Super Bowl. And I feel like those two guys were really instrumental. And like I said, I tell people about my brother. My brother was the key. My brother got me introduced to all of this. I wouldn't have did any of these things if it wasn't for my brother Cecil.
Yeah. All right, Rich. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna do another podcast in a couple of weeks, and we're gonna talk about some other topics now that we're in the off season. We'll keep an eye. Again, obviously, I cannot wait till next year's basketball season because I think it's going to be intriguing as hell, to be quite frank.
I can't wait, Tom.
And with the expanded Big Ten and all these players and an exciting young coach, and I think who's a great fit. So, but in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna bring you on, just talk about expectations of parents and their kids developing their high school, or developing basketball players, their sons into basketball players, and realistic expectations from your perspective, I think would be a good topic among other topics that we'll bring up.
Well, it sounds good to me, my man.
All right. We have a great weekend, Rich. Go Blue. And we'll talk to you next time. All Rell and Good here on the Crawford Podcasting Network.
I appreciate you, Tom. Go Blue always, baby.
All right. See you, man.
See ya.